Welcome to the third video in the Computer Essentials letter packet. This is letter number 3 that I will demonstrate, and it will show you how to do a personal business letter. This is a letter that does not go on letterhead stationery. Instead, it's just on a regular sheet of paper, and so we have to put some of the information that would normally appear in the letterhead at the top of our letter. Most importantly, that would start with our return address. So we'll have the cursor up at the top of our page with our paragraph symbol showing, and I'll press enter until the cursor gets down to approximately 1 inch further down the page. That gives me a total top margin of approximately 2 inches. Now I can adjust this later depending on the length of my letter to give it a good reading position. On the first line, we'll go ahead and start, as you see on your packet, with your return street address. And I'm going to use the school address, and you can use the same address if you'd like as well. So the school address is 12430 Southeast 208th Street. At the end of the line, I want to go down just one line, so I'll hold down Shift and press Enter, and now I will put the cities. So we are in Kent, Washington 98031. And then I'll press Shift and Enter, and I'll put in the date. And the date listed on the letter is November 21st, 2005. That's quite a long time ago. If you want to use a current date, that's fine. So I'll use today's date as of this recording. That is September 27, 2016. All right. Notice that the date is approximately 2.5 inches down the page, just like it was with the letterhead stationery in letters 1 and 2, but now I don't have that letterhead, so it's replaced with the return address. Just as before, I'll press enter 2 times so that I have room between the date and the inside address, and now I'll type the inside address, who is the person that we're sending this letter to. Her name is Janine Simpson. I press Shift Enter to go down one line and type the name of her company, which is Argonaut Press. I press Shift and Enter and put the address, which is 123 42nd Street, and then Shift and return Enter and type New York, NY for the state, and then an imaginary zip code. At the end of the inside address, we'll once again press enter so it double spaces down, and we can put our salutation, which usually starts with the word dear Ms., because we don't really know if Ms. Simpson is married or not, so we'll put Ms., which is the common way to address a woman. And so, dear Ms. Simpson. All right, we will use close punctuation again. The colon is optional. We'll press enter, and I'll go ahead now and I'm going to type the 4 paragraphs of this letter. I'm going to put it on pause. You can do the same and pause this video and type the 4 paragraphs, and then when you're down to the word sincerely at the closing, you can go ahead and start it back up again. Okay, as you can see, I finished typing my paragraphs, and I went through and I proofread the paragraphs to make sure all of my corrections are done. And I'm ready to put in the closing. And the typical closing that we'll put at the end of a letter is sincerely. And because I used the colon at the top, I'm going to put a comma after sincerely. Now I'll press enter 2 times so I have room to sign my name. And I'll type my name, but I do not have a position. This is a personal business letter, therefore I don't need to put in the position, but there is an enclosure. I'm enclosing my resume in this cover letter for a job application, so I'll press enter and I will put the enclosure notation down at the bottom. So there's our letter for letter number 2. The last thing we want to do before we are ready to send this on its way is we want to check it for the correct reading position. So I'll go up to View, and I'll view this on one page. I'll also turn off my paragraph marks so that I can see. And what I'm looking for is that the letter is nicely placed on the page. In other words, it's a little above center. It's not exactly in the center. That would make it look too low. It's a little above center. So this letter actually works out pretty good. You know, it might be okay to go up like about a line. That might make an adjustment. You can see how it shifted it up, but it looks nicely placed on the page. So this is what letter number 3 should look like. And today in class, you'll go ahead and do letter number 3 and letter number 4, and then submit both letters when you're done.